So today we have an amazing throwback. I'm going to be sharing my exclusive fireside chat that I had with the industry icon, Tina Davies, where we dive deep into the permanent makeup industry, the positives, the negatives, the dramas, where the industry is headed to, and even controversial topics that most people are afraid to discuss publicly. So whether you are a seasoned pro, maybe you're just starting out, you're going to get a lot of value from this conversation and get a lot of insight and perspective on how to best succeed in this industry for the next years to come. And so without further ado, enjoy this unedited, raw, authentic fireside chat between myself and Tina Davies. Let us know what you think and enjoy. Let's give it up for the one and only Tina Davies!
I've been in this industry for over 20 years. I started with only one goal in mind, to give my clients the best healed results. Permanent makeup to me is having the freedom to be my own boss, build a career around my passion, and show my kids what hard work and dedication can accomplish. And we put trust in our tools to deliver the best results for our clients' most precious asset. This entire line of products is founded on the notion of performance and stability. Rich, vivid, stable colors that offer long-lasting results for every client that walks through your door. That's something to be proud of. It's time to break the status quo and challenge ourselves to continue growing and learning as artists. Sharing our stories is what will keep us inspired to continue building the permanent makeup community.
Okay, cool. Tina, this is nice. Look at this setup.
I love this.
Pink chairs, everything.
I'm just gonna get comfortable here.
Yeah, so we want to set the tone for this segment. We've been sitting around for 3 days straight, full of education. Who still has energy for a couple of more segments throughout the day? Okay. Should we turn the temperature down a little bit more? So, like I said, we wanted to do something very different, something raw and personal. We're gonna dive deep into a lot of really controversial topics that many people are afraid to talk about, which I'm very excited for. And Tina, you're like the one person that will be perfect for this segment. So we're gonna go a little bit into your story. I know there's a lot of key lessons that people are gonna find very valuable, talk about many topics, and then we're gonna open it up for some Q&A with everyone. Is everyone okay with that? Okay. So first and foremost, Tina, thank you so much for doing PMU World again with us this year. How are you feeling?
I feel great, and thank you for getting Brooke to, push me along. She's like your biggest fan.
Love it. What has been your favorite part so far of the show?
It's the people. It's always the people. It's the energy, it's the love. I'm you guys.
Amazing.
I'm you.
Love it. So, does anybody here know Tina's origin story of like how she got into the industry and all of the lessons along the way? Just a couple of you guys? Okay, so this is perfect. So, Tina, I always like to start with this, but tell us a little bit about your origin story. Like, what was your upbringing like? Like, how did that even transcend into this crazy world that we're in today?
Well, my parents are both from Taiwan. They came over when they just got married. They had $300, a suitcase, didn't know the language. I mean, it's the immigrant story. And like, how scary is that? It's so scary. And when I was growing up, I watched them literally work any job just to make a few dollars. My dad was a doorman. My mom was a clerk. They didn't have any money. They just scraped together every little penny, and they bought a restaurant. The restaurant had like no permits. They lost money right from the beginning because they had to make a lot of repairs. And I was 3 years old, and I was helping them just bring menus to tables. My dad was cooking in the back. My mom was the waitress. Nobody liked his food. They switched roles. I was like, we should have done that from the beginning. Mom's Kung Pao chicken is the best. And they were struggling so hard to just make money, because come on guys, restaurant. So she decided, you know what, I'm gonna turn this into a buffet. All you can eat buffet, maybe it was like $2.50. They made 25 cents per customer.
Wow.
And they basically bought their house with 25 cents per customer.
That's amazing.
And like I admire that. I didn't know that, and at the time when I was little, I didn't. To be honest, I was embarrassed about my immigrant family, about my family's cheapness. You know, like saving things such as yogurt cups, and I would go to school and open up my lunch, and people would be like, "Ooh, that smells really bad." Do you guys hear me? You guys feel me?
Sauce packets.
Sauce packets, you know, wontons that smell like chives, that smell kind of like fart. But it's like, you brought yogurt? I'm like, no, it's not yogurt, it's dumplings. You know, but from
This is you, right?
Yeah, this is me from a young age. Oh my, I was 5 years old. I was already microblading right here.
Yeah, so we found some pictures in the interwebs. Can you imagine if that wasn't Tina? And like, it was this Asian girl that we just got on the screen.
Yeah, that's really, look at my haircut.
Love it. Everyone has that bowl haircut. So amazing. That's super inspiring. And so, you know, fast forward a little bit, like, how were you introduced to PMU? Like, how did you get into this crazy world?
Well, as typical immigrant parents always do, is they want their children to have something better than them. They wanted me to be a doctor, be a lawyer, be something that they could brag to their friends about. And I definitely want to make my parents happy because they work so hard. Remember, 25 cents at a time. My mom literally made everything in the house, every piece of clothing, everything came from scratch. Maybe that's where I get that influence from. But they wanted me to go to college, go to get a higher education. They never wanted me to work with them like such long hours on the weekends. So I went to school, I got a marketing degree, and I told my mom that, okay, I'm going to buy you a house one day. And she's like, okay, good, I'm really happy about that. You know, Asian parents, they always want you to like give them money.
Yeah,
okay, like big dreams. But then, you know, I got to work, I got my little briefcase, I like got my desk job. I worked at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, as you guys would never even believe this if I told you, as a financial advisor. I was a financial advisor. So one day, my girlfriend asked me to go with her to get eyeliner done. I was like, okay, fine, I'll go get eyeliner done. We went to this little shop. It was in Chinatown, San Francisco. I walked into the room, and the room was probably filled with at least 10 ladies in the waiting room. And I was like, okay, well, this place looks like crap on the outside, but it is slammed on the inside like a doctor's office. And the front desk girl said, $200. I'm like, okay, $200. She goes, sit down. Okay, just sit down. So my girlfriend went first. She came out literally, I'm not even kidding you guys, 10 minutes later with tissues, dabbing on her eyes, crying, saying, it hurts. But I looked at it, I'm like, oh my God, it looks great. She had perfect eyeliner after 10 minutes. And then I was next. I was really excited about that. And the lady, like, she put her hands on my eyes, went like this really quick, no numbing, no, not even any talking. There wasn't like, how are you? Let's have a consultation. No, nothing. It was like, close your eyes. Bzzz. 10 minutes later, I had eyeliner. And it was like, okay, next. Oh, I couldn't believe it.
And what year was this? Just so people understand.
Oh my God, guys. This is, I was 19 years old, okay? So 70, what's 72 plus 19? I can't do math, I'm an artist.
91.
1991, guys. It gives you an idea of how old I am. So 1991, I think this was like Madonna just came out with like a Virgin. So, I mean, this is a long time ago, and that's how I had this light bulb go off. I want to do what she's doing. She is like changing lives, making women beautiful. She made my tiny Asian eyes look bigger. Yes, I was so into that. So like right there, I had that click. But then at the same time, like my parents wanted me to, you know, rise to the top and
financial advisor.
Yeah, have a business card that I could be like, oh, I'm a financial advisor and let me advise you on your retirement plan. Like that.
Love it, love it. So that was your first like entry into like really understanding what the procedure was. So how did you personally get trained and start the business yourself?
Well, because I didn't want to let my parents down, I stuck with that job for a little bit. And then, God, sorry guys, again, my girlfriend said, your eyebrows are bad. Let's go get them done. And this was many years later, so I went with her. She said, I know a lady coming from Hong Kong. She's really good. You should get your eyebrows done. She had it done. I had it done. And I was like, wow, I love this. And from that moment, I told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm going to just do this little hobby. I'm going to take some courses. I'm going to try this out. Because I didn't want to let her down. But I just told her it was kind of like a little hobby. So then she wouldn't be disappointed. And from that first day that it was a hobby, I just got models and I loved tattooing people. And what I was doing, it just didn't resonate with me. I was hating it, but doing art and serving mainly women, it made me so happy. So I love doing it. So that's how I got into permanent makeup.
Got it. So financial advisor. So you decided to quit that and then pursue the permanent makeup side full time.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically, that's it in a nutshell.
And then your first studio was in San Francisco.
I was working out of doctor's offices.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a contact that put me in touch. She goes, oh, you should do it for my plastic surgeon. Come work there. And I was like, really? Like a plastic surgeon?
Yeah.
So that's how I started just there. And then I moved to Toronto, so.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Walk us through that chapter, because that's always a very fascinating chapter when people do start their businesses, and this has been quite some time. So walk us through how you actually built the business, built your portfolio, get an early start with all of the clients that you eventually had.
Yeah, back then, and this is when I was in my 20s, permanent makeup was not what it is today. Now it's a luxury service. Young, old people get it. And back then it was for grandmas. It was a weird service. It was obscure. I know a lot of like my Asian aunties had it done and they all had blue eyebrows. So regardless, I still loved it because like, wow, I look good. No more makeup. So I just started to ask people if they wanted to have it done, wanted to be my model. And surprisingly, a lot of people did. I remember, do you guys know this service called Craigslist?
Yeah.
Okay, that was my first marketing channel. I was like, models, $50, Craigslist. So many models. So I was doing people from Craigslist because they're not paying me as clients. So that's where I was like really honing my skill. I did a one-to-one training and I was really lucky. I found a trainer, and sorry, I gotta rewind a little bit. She trained me one-on-one. She sat next to me side by side. I exactly remember her name was Jeannie Schmidt. And it was that one-on-one training and that attention that helped me. And then from there, I started doing models. But my mistake was that I just kept doing models without getting better. But at least I was touching the skin. I was able to practice my pitch. I was able to like basically try out products. And if I were to say anything today, what I learned from that mistake is that you need to have very good training and mentorship from the start. I spent a lot of time bumping around in the dark. And that's because back then training isn't like the way it is today. Here, you open it up, there's like so many trainers you can choose from. Like choose from 20 trainers that were speakers here. Back then it was like people that weren't doing were teaching. And half of them were like 60 years old and up. So they didn't really resonate with me from an age group or like a genre perspective. So I should have got more training, but it was very limited at the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's so fascinating. Does anyone use Craigslist to find their models? Just out of curiosity. Is anyone going to start
like
today?
Stalkers.
Love it. So let's fast forward a little bit. So that's how you start the business. You got inspired by your training. You got better. And then how did you personally get into training?
You know what? I first worked on my business, just seeing lots of clients. I was working like every single day of the week. I would work at different places. And this came because I wasn't busy. In the beginning, I had one client a week if I was lucky. You know, I did the Craigslist thing, then it was like taking paying clients. So I would knock on doors, literally knock on doors, hit the ground running, go to places and go, knock, knock, knock. Hi, I do permanent makeup. You want to see my portfolio? Would you like to offer permanent makeup in your salon? I could do it for everybody in your clinic first, okay, just to try it out. So nail salon Monday, hair salon on Tuesday, plastic surgeon's office on Wednesday, my own basement on Thursday. Like it was rotating. Wherever there's a client, I just remember just taking the subway from one to another. I would just go around and just take the clients.
I love that. I love hearing the hustle. This is one of your first, this is one of your first trainings, right? Right here?
Yeah, this is in 2014. This is when I came across microblading. So this is like fast forward like 10 years later. I went to a conference. I saw a gentleman, a man, doing microblading, and I'd never seen this before because I was doing it all with machine. And he was drawing hair strokes with this little needle, dragging it on the skin, and my mind was blown. And at the time, it was called eyebrow embroidery. Do you guys know this term, eyebrow embroidery? Okay, so some of you already know. That's what it was called back in China. So I saw the embroidery and it's like, wow, this is so fascinating, never seen it before. So I wanted to bring it to the United States. So I partnered with my mentor, one of my mentors at the time. Her name is Linda Dixon, and she's the creator of one of the most famous and popular anesthetics you guys all probably have in your toolkit called Tag 45 Ultra Duration. You guys heard of her? She's in her 70s now, but I always admire and respect her because she was a giver. She taught me how to give. All of her information was free, so I partnered with her. I said, let's do this, let's teach this course, but what are we gonna call it? Embroidery? No, Americans are gonna be like, what the hell is embroidery? Like sewing? This doesn't make any sense. So I looked at this tool. It was an X-Acto knife. It was literally an X-Acto knife that you use for crafting. And it had a little needle like sticking out of it, and you have to put the needle into the handle and twist it up. So I'm like, okay, it's really small, micro, and it kind of looks like a blade, like a blade that you would use, like a steak knife kind of. So I'm like, let me call this microblading.
So that's where the name came from.
That's where the name came from.
Was anyone aware of that, by the way? So Tina Davies is the one who coined the term microblading. That's phenomenal.
It's scary.
And then is this the product we're referring to, or is this the one that you started
This
production?
is the product that I actually developed because I hated those little tools. I hated twisting them up. And see, at the time, I was already an established professional, like 10 years in. I'm charging clients $900. I can't take out an X-Acto knife and start doing this. It's just so unprofessional, and everything looked really like rudimentary.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? This is how Tina Davies Professional started. I was pregnant and with Brooke, my daughter, and I was thinking, you know what? I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna be off for a year. So during this time, maybe I could make some of these tools. I could design something for microblading, and maybe somebody's gonna buy it. If nobody buys it, that's okay. I'm just gonna use it. And I just drew out the design. I thought about like, okay, we need a handle that has a cushy grip. The needle's already attached, so you don't have to install and insert a needle. And so I just took a lot of time just really thinking about the user experience, and that was key to me. And I was really lucky that I was like the #1 user, so I know what it feels like to the needs.
Yeah.
User needs are like number one.
So the product essentially came out of your own need, trying to work on clients. And
Exactly.
So this product was born. So talk to us about this.
So these are the microblade, the needles, because the most important part of any microblade is going to be the needle quality. So I checked every single needle with a microscope and putting it on my computer. That's what I would do. I'd have them made and I'd QC them myself because I want to make sure there's no hooks, no barbs. I would even run them. One of my QC tests was to run them against pantyhose to see if there's any like little, you know when you run your nail on a pantyhose, you could feel that little drag. So, and my son, Bruce Davies, he was involved with checking them too. I'm like, okay, come sit next to mommy. Here's 500 needles. just look at them under the microscope on the computer. I always involve my kids.
Love it, love it. So and then at what point did the pigments start coming in? So, I really want to walk through the transitions, right? You were an artist, then you became a trainer, and then you started developing products. So the blades and the needles, and then at what point did the pigments start coming in? And what was the backstory behind that?
Yes, so I did the needles first, and that just blew up. It's like I was worried that nobody wanted to buy them, but 10 years ago when microblading popped on the scene, invigorated permanent makeup, because like I said, permanent makeup was like an old grandma thing. There was no such thing as like soft, airy look, feathery strokes. But that's what me and Linda Dixon were talking about, and that's what we were seeing in eyebrow embroidery. It was like a renaissance of permanent makeup, and just with the microblades, you could draw these little hairs. And so microblading was like, I was so busy selling and marketing the microblades, but I still had this problem. And I was still tattooing. Seeing clients 3 days a week. I still had the kids, and it's really hard to juggle the kids and the business and et cetera. And my clients were coming in to me for touch-ups. I had a clientele of like 5,000 people. Not all of them were retained, but rotating, they were coming back. And I had this one lady, I specifically remember her because she was like 70 years old, and she had these pink eyebrows. And she had been my client for, I want to say, about 4 years. So she was coming, like every year and a half she would come back. And you guys are so lucky, because back then, really, we had bad products. So the results weren't great. But microblading was still taking off, and clients still liked something better than nothing. So she had these red eyebrows, and she's like, my 5-year-old grandson is asking me why my eyebrows are red.
Oh no.
Like, she's like, my 5-year-old. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't keep doing this to people. Like, I made microblades, but I'm not able to solve the color pigment problem. Or I've never been able to, because I was always buying pigments. Every 2 years I was changing brands, because when I would see people come back, I could see that the results started to look like weird colors. And my clients were having rainbows of colors in their eyebrows, from red to orange to green, even some, not mine, blue, purple. So I decided that, am I ready to do something about it? Like, who's gonna do something? I've never seen it in my lifetime, so am I ready to do something about it? So that's when I decided to look into pigments and making pigments. But I did not want to look inside my industry, because that's where all the mistakes were. I had to look outside my industry. And so that's when I started to look to tattoo inks, which now we know are organic inks. Because my biggest curiosity, what I didn't understand, is why could I tattoo eyebrows on a client and they wouldn't last, but body tattoos last forever? There's something going on. But at that time, tattoo industry was really closed. It was not open to permanent makeup. They thought of us like a joke, like we were scratchers, we do lines while they do dragons. So it was hard to just even get someone on that side to give me some answers. Like, back then, guys, there was no like CI codes being revealed, organic, inorganic. There was none of this information. We just picked up the bottle, brown, use it. That was it. So that's when I met Lou Rubino from Permablend, also known as World Famous, and he's truly an innovator. He is a yes man. I said, Lou, tell me what's in your pigments. How do you make this? Do these tattoos fade to red, orange, pink, green, blue? He's like, why are you asking me all these questions? Like, yes, tattoo ink, tattoos. Like, I've got 5,000 artists that use my products. Come to my trade show. So he had a trade show in New York. There was over 300 stalls of artists tattooing dragons, portraits in their booths. And I would go around to those booths and say, excuse me, you famous tattoo guy, is that changing color? Like, does it shift? Does it fade? Because I wanted to find out, like, do our tattoo inks safe? People are like tattooing on people's necks. I'm like, okay, this looks, and they look at me like, are you crazy? You don't even have a tattoo. Look at me, I have nothing. And here I am trying to question their work and question the inks. They're like, yeah, of course, this shit freaking works. If it doesn't work, I wouldn't be in business. Hello. I can't tattoo somebody for 8 hours and it fades away in a year. So I was like, okay, Lou, I trust you. So, do you want to make a pigment line together? Will you make something for me, for my industry, for my girls? And he's like, yeah, I'll make it with you. So I got a yes.
Wow, and so that's how everything exploded from that point on.
Yeah, my first order was 300 sets. They came in these little plastic cardboard, like little boxes, and then I made 5 colors because I wanted to keep it really simple, because at the time, permanent makeup lines had like 30 colors, and like really at the end of the day, we use maybe 3, light, medium, dark, And then, so literally this is light, this is medium, this is dark, and then I made something in between. So then you don't have to mix.
What colors you want? 1, 2, or 3?
You are a 5.
Love it. That's the first time I've heard this story. Can we give it up for Tina? That's amazing. Love it. So, speaking of bad products, I feel like you've been in the industry long enough, so you've also seen the art itself evolve over the years. Like, tell us a little bit about that, like what you've seen from when you first started to how things are now today. And we have a couple of pictures we wanted to share.
Yeah, like back then, this is the old grandma style I was talking about in the rainbows. You would see multiple colors. This is very common. This is a typical cover-up work. Not like you see today. Today you see beautiful gradients. The colors are so rich. We're so incredibly lucky. So like I'm in the position where I'm like, I just want to help you guys do better. You guys are the next generation. You guys got the skills, you know. I'm here to help you.
Woo! Help with these, Tina.
Oh my God, yes. This is from like, you know, the textbooks in permanent makeup that we would learn from before. The lines were like, it was like lip, you guys remember lip liner? Lip liner was big, like dark lip liner with like maybe frosty lipstick in the middle. And like permanent makeup doesn't look like this anymore. So wow, we are just so lucky. People like Tess and so many great speakers up here are like literally elevating and bring things up. But we still have a problem in our industry.
And what's that?
Training sucks.
The
training sucks.
The training sucks. Okay, so we're gonna jump into that. That's actually one of the top controversies that we do wanna chat about. But I do have this picture. I know you get your family pretty involved, and I love Luke, I love Brooke, I love your family. You get them very involved, so tell us how like this has been this big family affair for you.
Well, in the beginning, I was actually really embarrassed to involve my family. Okay. I came from an immigrant family, was handing out menus, counting the cash register. I didn't want that for them. I wanted them to have soccer camp and art class and all these like really like, how do you say, American things that I didn't have. I didn't even know camp was a thing. Did you know camp was a thing when you were growing up?
Yeah, luckily I experienced science camp.
Oh, math camp, science camp.
That was like the most non-Asian thing ever.
Mandarin school.
Mandarin school, after school tutoring and everything.
Yes, like seriously.
And
let's go back one slide. I just want to talk about this a little bit because like I was really embarrassed about that. And I didn't want my kids to, you know, work in the business, but then I was like, I need some help. And then also like getting Bruce to look at needles. And so what I learned is the kids, they just want to be around you.
Amazing.
Yeah, and like where else am I going to get an opportunity to show them? So when I think back now, like my parents were right the whole time. Guys, aren't your parents actually right the whole time? You go back to your mom, you're like, Mom, help me. Yeah.
Love it. Luke, are you in the crowd right now? Hey, Luke. Everyone give Luke a quick shout out. Woo.
There's Luke.
He's been working day and night, hauling carts back and forth. So I just want to give you a shout out, Luke.
Yeah, I dragged him in too. I'm like, help me.
And how did you drag him into this?
Okay, so guys, this is Luke's leg. He's gonna come on stage and show you his leg. Yeah, so again, in pigment testing, obviously, there's the chemistry, there's the science behind it. I don't actually mill the products. I don't have mixers at home. I depend on Permablend as a company to create the colors for me. I create the palette, but the most important part is testing in the skin so we could see what healed results look like. The thing is that I learned is that it is very different what it looks like on the body than on the face. Because the skin is different. It's thinner, it's more translucent. You could have different zones of color. You have pink zones, you have thick skin, you have oily, you have T-zones. So in order to test the colors, I could test it on my clients. I don't want to say test, I'm using it on my clients, right? But I don't see them all the time. So I'm like, Luke, can I borrow your butt? It's either your leg and butt or mine. Okay?
This is his leg or butt?
This is like here.
This right here?
Yeah. I had to crop it, guys. I had to shave it and I had to crop it.
Good for Luke being a trooper. All right, amazing, amazing. So
yeah, and like here, there's different color lines. Like I have fade, I love ink, colors in testing. Some are aged, some are fresh. I even like tattooed 1RL.35, 3RL.25, so I could see what the pixels look like. So thank you, Luke.
Is anyone gonna start tattooing their husband's butts after this? Test them?
So it's good. I get to look at it every day and just check. I'm always like, take off your pants. Take off your pants. Let me take a picture. He's like,
Again,
it's not that kind.
Day 69, day 70.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so going back to what you were saying, trainings. You're saying that's a very big problem in the industry. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, guys, training hasn't changed since I started. They're short classes, they're big money, and there's not enough mentorship. There's mentorship, but it's not structured in a way that can really take you from zero to hero. I hear it every single day. You guys hear it too? You're a student, they went to another place, they paid a lot of money, they watched somebody do something and they didn't learn anything. So this is a problem. Permanent makeup industry is not regulated. Tattoo industry is not regulated. And unless we do something about it, it's always going to be broken. Everybody is going to suffer.
What do you feel like should be the criteria moving forward if this does need to change?
We need to do apprenticeship. It needs to be a drawn out process of training where it includes in-person, online, because we're lucky today we could do online training. And there has to be accountability for people doing apprenticeship over, I want to say minimum like a year, guys, a year.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, who has taken a bad training in their career at some point? Wow, so a very good chunk of the room. Wow.
Yeah. And this hurts me. This really hurts me. I don't want to see people suffer like this.
So let's bring it back to the artist's side, because if somebody's new, they don't know any better, they're looking to get into the industry, there's a lot of sexy marketing lingo. So, where do you feel like artists and trainers in general need to be better? Like, is there a specific amount of time that somebody needs to be doing the work before they start training? Like, what is the criteria you think in your mind?
You have to touch so much skin before you can train, because you need to say, this is what happens over time. This is what the results are going to look like over time. This is what's going to happen to all these different profiles of clients. This is what you can expect. So people need, I'm going to say this, you need 5 years. You need 5 years. You need to go through a few different brands of products. You need to do many healed results on the same client over and over again. So okay, it fades like this, the client has come back, this is how I dealt with a cover-up, this is how I dealt with a new shape, this is how we went through laser together. Guys, that's the bottom line. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I know there's trainers here that are training with less than that, and just because I've been doing this so long, I could say it really does take 5 years to at least see a lot of cases.
Yeah, so you're saying there's a specific checklist of a lot of these scenarios that somebody needs to go through before they're ready to put out a good training.
That's right, and it's not, I don't even want to say it's 5 years. What if you only do 5 clients a year? It just means you need to do a lot of cases. You need to see your clients at least come back to you once or twice, and that's going to take time. There's no way you can rush that.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Just related to that, what are your thoughts on how the industry is? Because I feel like most people kind of look at trainings as a money grab nowadays. It's like, oh, I don't have any clients, I'm not making any money. Let me get into training to charge $3,000. Just what are your honest thoughts on that?
I think everybody needs to make money. Okay? I'm all for that. But until you're ready to say that I've seen this skin, I know what to expect. And look, I don't know everything, nobody knows everything, but you have to be confident in at least 70% of your answers. You can't pretend like you know the answer or reference some other pictures. You just can't do that. You can't take a shortcut, guys.
Yeah. Love that. So, going back to trainers, let's say they are training too early, what are some the biggest mistakes that you see early trainers make? It's
just that they don't have enough experience. And what happens is a lot of people will get propositioned to train. Like, you did my eyebrows, they look really good. Do you train? And all of a sudden they're like, I can train, or they took a class and of course they want to make that money back. So it's the biggest mistake is training too early. But this is actually the perfect opportunity, guys, because you guys notice how saturated training is, right? Isn't training saturated? So offer more value. Do more, give more. Don't do 2-day, 3-day trainings. This is another thing I want to talk to you about.
Sure, so let's dive into that. So when you say like don't do those short trainings, are you saying that the training model itself needs to change?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The training model needs to change. I'll give you an example, like a very referenceable example. Like for tattooing, you have to apprentice at least a year. I'm just giving something very neighbor. I'm not going to talk about like, plumbing apprentice. But you have to apprentice, be in the shop, you have to sketch, you have to draw at least 1 year, set up trays before you can even touch skin. Why are we not doing that? Like it's a broken model because it's always been used. So as a trainer, and I'm asking you guys as the leaders of the industry, all the speakers that are in here today, up your trainings, up your training programs, offer apprenticeships, help all these people in the room lift up. You have to give them an example to follow. And I already see people doing this. A lot of people that were speaking on stage, they live in states that are regulated, so they must offer, at least 1 week of training. It's not a weekend class in like LA at the Hilton, So I already see states are regulating this, but come on, let's face it, guys. We can't wait for regulation all day. So put it upon yourself to give longer training. I have a pro team member. She started offering 1-year apprenticeships for her training, okay? 1-year apprenticeships. Guess how many people she put through in 1 year?
Surprise me.
12.
Wow.
12 people in 1 year. Everybody followed the training program, came in person, went online. She had them work at her shop. They can come shadow her anytime, and all of them are successful. They're either working like part-time or full-time or at her shop, but that is 100%, what is that, at-bat ratio? Like that's a success rate. That's an amazing success rate.
Yeah. So you bring up a really good point. So like, what do you feel like the criteria for success is? Because, if you're asking like, let's say an average trainer, like what is the success rate of your students having highly profitable and successful businesses, let's say a year after your training, the ratio is typically quite low.
Yeah,
so
they drop out.
They drop out, and so do you feel like it's also like an expectations problem? And, related to that, like what do you feel like some success criterias are? Like they're having an actual successful business after the training?
Yeah, first of all, they have to learn the skill and they have to know how to build a business. So those are the two. A lot of people learn the skill, but they drop out because they don't know how to get clients, right? So it's two parts. No one's going to know how to build a business from the beginning. So in the beginning, they have to work with somebody. They have to work at somebody else's business, work for nothing, work for peanuts, and then start to, if they want, on their own. I don't want to put a number or a figure like they need to do X amount of people or make X amount of money, but it's step by step. It's not overnight, get a salon, start working, pay rent. Like you can't swim on your own. You can't. Yeah.
So in general, you're saying the whole model needs to change where it's no longer like these super short weekends at the hotel. It needs to include some online, some in-person, live models, longer apprenticeships, all like a hybrid model.
With a long structure,
Okay.
Yeah. And people need to be interviewing their trainers. It's not the other way around. You're not saying, please take me as your student. You're interviewing trainers for the best trainer. And you know right away, like if you email, you call them, how responsive are they? Ask for the schedule, ask for the agenda. You ask at the dating stage.
Who feels like their career would have been a completely different level they had this model that Tina just described? Right, give it up for Tina. That was such a great answer. Love that.
Thank you.
Amazing. So going back to what you're saying about the lack of standardizations and like regulations, obviously like every state is different, counties, like there's just it's so gray area. So obviously you can't wait for a lot of that. So do you feel like leaders need to step up in certain ways to really pave the way moving forward?
Absolutely. Like I said, if you can put through a dozen successful artists in a year, why wouldn't you do that? You can raise up very successful artists. They'll all be either part of your team, or you can just be really proud of that, of their success. So I heard a lot of trainers talk about this, how they got bad training too. We all know how it feels. So let's all raise the bar. And if you are a trainer, look at create a program. Just look inside yourself. You guys know this stuff. You know exactly what you want, what you need, and you'd be surprised. You could make money. You obviously people are doing the $3,000 weekend workshop, but you could charge for the in-person. You can charge monthly as you go. You could still make money and make an income mentoring these people along versus just a short weekend. It's actually a better model. You don't have to go out and get new students every single month. You've got recurring revenue from your students that are already returning.
That's amazing. Is anyone going to change the training model today, just out of curiosity? Love it. Love it, love it. Okay, amazing. So that was a very deep topic, right? And I think that definitely needs to be discussed. So we've had a lot of people submit in questions. So I want to do the next couple of minutes kind of like rapid fire. That's okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on industry trends? Like things to look out for, oh my God, 2025 is coming, AI, all the craziness. What are your thoughts on that?
Trends, well, we know where they are. They're all on social media. Trends are great, but they waste a lot of time. I would like to see the trend of the longer trainings.
Okay.
I would like to see that. I know that doesn't exactly answer your question. So more, I want to encourage you guys not to follow trends, but to do something better, do something different. Don't be afraid. Everything I do, I am so scared shitless, and it's really hard for me. So I definitely know that I have the fear, you guys have it. It's okay. It's okay. You learn. Get up and go.
Woo! All right. What are some of the biggest mistakes that artists are making nowadays?
They're not disciplined.
Not disciplined.
They're not disciplined.
Okay.
They want everything fast. They're not paying attention. I make all these courses. I make so much education, and you guys don't read it. You guys want to watch a short 60-second video. And you keep asking me the same questions that I already made the education for. So it's like anything, though. You've got 5% of people are going to get A's. Another 10% are going to get B's. Most people here are going to get C's. Let's say the 50%, everyone's down here. So I challenge everybody to be disciplined. If you want to be here, you want to be like these girls that dedicated their whole week to being here for you, you've got to be those A's. You've got to be very disciplined, take it very seriously. Be here first thing in the morning, up front. Why are you getting coffee at 9 o'clock? Like, you guys should be here. I was actually really disappointed when I was here the first day. The room was half empty and people were not, they didn't have their butts in their chair. And I'm sure you guys spent thousands of dollars. You guys should be here. Be first, stay late, okay? And be completely obsessed and committed to your clients. Don't be looking for the next client. Service that one client to death, okay? I'd rather service 5 clients to death than try to find 20 more clients. You should be making sure they know where to go. They had a consultation with you. You call them I don't want to say every other day, but you call them. You're concerned about them. You're following up with them. You are spoiling them, so then they feel so good about you. They will never, ever leave you, and they will tell all their friends about you. You don't have to make videos all day on social media. I built my business. I didn't even have social media. Nothing. It was just call them, follow up with them, check up on them, write down their their birthdays, their kids' birthdays. We went through dating, marriage, divorce, 1 kid, 2 kids. Like, they're still my clients forever.
You've seen all the different marriages or
Yes, no, seriously. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Love it. And you know what we always say with business, like it's so much easier to bring the same client back who knows, likes, and trusts you already, right? To get a
I'm back.
And spend it. You're back. You're back. How about market saturation? We hear that a lot. Oh my God, there's so many new artists now. It's a price war to the bottom. There's so many people in my area doing the same thing. I can't stand out. The market is too saturated.
It doesn't matter. Just do your best. You need to get in front of people so you can earn their trust. And that's not gonna happen unless you build a relationship. So I can build a relationship with any of you guys. So you just need to touch them in the right place. Listen to them, touch them in their heart, respond to them. Like, that's gonna get their attention. So I don't believe that. I never had a problem because I always believe in the relationship first.
Absolutely. You know, our biggest model is like competition doesn't exist. Like, you stay in your lane, you focus on your clients, get them to come back, and they refer everybody they love over to you.
Yeah, and just a good energy all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about there were a lot of people who upvoted when we did a poll. How about misleading clients with overly edited content?
Yeah, that's not realistic, and it's really hard. It takes a lot of time.
To edit the content?
Yes.
That doesn't sell?
Yeah.
Or doesn't sell the right way, I should say.
Yeah, just be you guys.
Yeah.
Just be you. I don't know if you guys ever follow me at Tina Davies. I haven't posted anything in 6 months. It just takes too much time. I'd rather talk to you.
Absolutely.
You know, so absolutely, you want those pictures to look good. You want your portfolio to look good. But find your niche, okay? In the beginning, you do anybody, take everybody as a client. But there's gonna be something you love. You're gonna love to do eyebrows on, let's say, darker skin, or you're gonna love to do lips. Once you find that niche, you're just double down on that niche and keep talking to that audience. They will identify you, and they are not gonna care what your over-edited pictures look like. They are not. They're just gonna regard you as the expert and just keep showing up as yourself and educate that way. Talk about, like, how can I help you, Danny? Your eyebrows are, what's going on? I really wanna hear your story. Like, keep touching their heart.
Yeah. Love it, love it. And then we have one final one. As a global brand who has launched numerous products, like, what are your thoughts on white labeling products? Let's say, putting your name on something that's just super cheap and then pumping it out into the market?
I think having products is great, but the best thing is have products that truly deliver results. You don't want to spend time, waste time and money literally selling a $5 pencil, putting my name on a pencil. I can say it's my pencil. You're gonna just bring more value by doing the service. People always think like products is great, having your brand everywhere. Let me tell you, products is hard. Where's my package? Chargebacks, like, it's really hard. So don't get too distracted. Products is always really great, but if you are thinking about products, always, always focus on quality. The money will come later. Yeah.
Love it. Who in this room has their own products? Raise your hand. 6 or 7 of you guys, okay. And so do you feel like product in itself should like really be solving problems? Because that was the theme throughout the whole conversation, right? You've created these products out of a need because you were doing the service and you felt like there wasn't anything that existed to the standards that you were trying to deliver. So should products be delivered out of needs, or what are your thoughts on that?
1000%, only out of need, only out of need.
Okay, yeah. Amazing. So speaking of products, I know you have a surprise for everybody in the crowd.
I brought gifts for you guys.
You guys want surprises? All right. So team, did we pass out the products?
Who has it? Who has their little gift?
Oh, you guys already got it?
Yeah.
Wait, everybody raise it up. Raise up the products from Tina.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Yay. I'm a big believer, and I don't want you to buy something from me. I want you to try it, experience it for yourself. So this year I developed a new numbing cream. It's called Ice Cream. And I made it because for 25 years, as long as I've been in permanent makeup, the technology has never changed. It's always been, you numb first, the client is maybe numb for about 15 minutes, and then they start getting in pain. Then you have to bring in another product to then put it on the skin, and hopefully that will keep them comfortable for you to finish your service in about an hour or two. So that's never changed. I wanted to make the product better because a big challenge for permanent makeup growing, it's always about, I want to expand the industry, right? I want to make permanent makeup the makeup of the future. So people's biggest struggle, meaning the clientele, is they are afraid, is it going to hurt, right? How much does it cost, and is it going to hurt? So how can I make this feel better for them? How can I make them not hurt? So I wanted to improve numbing technology. So Ice Cream is my gift to permanent makeup. It's a product that will keep clients numb for about 2 to 3 hours. No more needing to put primary numbing, secondary numbing, and then the client is still in pain. They're gonna have a bad experience. So Ice Cream will solve that by, you put it on the client's skin for about 20 minutes, and then you're gonna be able to do your whole procedure with a level of pain, maybe about 2. And it does not harden the skin. So guys, we're gonna do something fun. Everybody, I want you to try it. Just try it for a few minutes, okay? After you try it yourself, you're gonna know what it feels like. So take out your ice cream. It's like a little ice cream pink tube. Yeah, you can put it on the eyebrows, eyes, lips. Boom, 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 boom. Micro needling, it's for aesthetics. Anything that hurts. On your butt even, it says hemorrhoid cream. It's a hemorrhoid cream. But it's FDA approved. That's why it says hemorrhoid cream. I want to make sure that it was above board. It's cleared by the FDA. So we're gonna use it in this case, not on the butt, on the lip. Okay, so open it up and take off the little foil.
Besides Luke, though, he can do it on the butt.
No, I didn't test it on his butt, but I put it on his lips and he was drooling. Poor Luke. I got pictures. Who wants to see? Okay, so you guys got the little silver lid off? Okay, take the Q-tip and put a little bit on the Q-tip and put it on your lip. Okay? Come on. Just put a little bit on the corner of your lip. Yeah. Rub it in a little bit. When you rub it, it activates the active ingredients. It has lidocaine and phenylephrine. Phenylephrine will stop bleeding and reduce swelling. So let's just keep it on for a few minutes. And then later I have also little alcohol pads that you can use to wipe it off. So this product will keep your clients really comfortable, and if your clients are feeling sensitive and you can kind of feel them tense up, put a little bit more on and then wait a few minutes. You should never have to apply this product more than once after you do the initial numbing. So what you'll do is clean the skin, the eyebrows, the eyes, or the lips, put it on for 20 minutes, take a break, maybe go through some aftercare, book her next appointment, have some lunch, and then wipe it off, then do your pre-draw. Now you don't need to rush your pre-draw anymore. Before it was always like, oh my God, I have to hurry up and do this pre-draw because the client's gonna lose numbing. No, like you guys will see, you're gonna be, sorry guys, you're gonna be drooling a little bit. Okay, so don't rush the pre-draw, and then, always occlude it, occlude it. Occlude the lips, occlude the brows, but don't occlude the eyes, okay? And then remove it, then start doing your drawing. So that's my gift to you guys. Try it out if you guys like it. I do have a booth, okay?
Where did the name ice cream come from?
It came from Bruce.
Bruce, where did the name ice cream come from? Just... It's a fantastic answer. I thought it was like a deeper meaning.
Well, Luke suggested ass cream. I'm like, I can't ass cream. I'm like, oh, I don't think that's gonna work. I like Bruce's idea better.
I can guarantee you that name's not trademarked yet, so. Amazing, amazing. Cool, so we gotta wait a few minutes for everything to settle in. We have a couple of minutes and we wanna open up, make it very engaging. Does anyone have specific questions for Tina? Can we get a couple of mic runners? And that way everyone can hear us. So, first.
Hi Tina, I'm Danny.
Hi.
Hi, so I was wondering if I want to retail your product back in Sweden, who do I talk to and what's the process of that?
Danny, did you hear that?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
If I want to retail your product back in Sweden and sell it for you, who do I contact and what does this process look like?
Was the question if you're interested in selling the product?
Yeah, retailing your product.
Oh, retail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would love to have you. Go to the website, and on the hamburger menu, there's a link called Partner With Us. Just submit your information, and my team will get back to you. We'd love to work with you.
Thank you.
Partner With Us. TinaDavies.com. Hashtag Tina
In the
Davies.
United States, we have a maximum numbing agent requirement. The percentages in this are what exactly?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The percentage of lidocaine in this product?
Oh, the percentage of lidocaine is 5%.
Okay. And do you ever use it after you pre-draw, put it on and take it off, like gently?
Yes. You can use it to continuously numb the client.
Okay.
So let's say but you're gonna go into the habit of how you used to use numbing. You're gonna wanna keep putting on more and more and more, but you actually don't need to do that. Put it on once, leave it for a few minutes. You only need to do it maybe once because it's gonna be so incredibly numb. You can just relax and just focus on the art.
Great question.
I don't specifically have one question. I just want to say that I think it was yesterday, I applied some of these anesthetic on myself around 3:40 or so, and 6 p.m. and my mouth is still numb. So yes, really works.
Thank you.
What a great live testimonial. Icon, there was one question over here. And
let's go to the right
one
side of the
front.
room. Yeah. Questions over here? Okay, back over here.
Hi, Tina. I'm
Hi.
over here. So going back to regulating the industry, so our state, we're in Maine, and we started regulating about 3 years ago, but there's still a hot mess. Like, they started by saying, okay, we need to regulate because people were just going to 3-day microblading courses and then going out and doing stuff without any sort of licensing. So now they require us to, like, we have to take our AAM course, we have to get state board certified, we have to do continuing education, but they still are super, like, we don't know how to categorize this. So what do you think that looks like as an industry? Because I was just saying to my friend here, like, I'm also in esthetician school, and I feel like permanent makeup should, like, fall under that, because we have to learn about skin, like, theory, like, diseases. We don't do that in permanent makeup. So what do you think that looks like for the whole industry?
Wow, that's a huge, huge topic. AAM has guidelines for that, but it's not specific to your state, is that correct?
Our state just picked it up because they saw there was the AAM and, like, SC, the other one.
SPCP.
Yeah, they just said, these look good. We're gonna go with that to at least get people getting the right education to start. But after that, like, when it came to studios and stuff, like, they're like, well, we're gonna try and compare it to tattoo artists, but we're still not sure. Like, so we have more stricter guidelines than our tattoo artist. So,
Well, that's the problem is
Yeah.
there's no mandatory compliance. It's gray. It's like people are doing this here and that over there and getting away with stuff, right? They still get their business operating license though, right? You could still have that.
yeah.
So we do need more leadership in, let's say, bodies such as AAM or SPCP, if you follow that, but a lot of people don't follow that. So all we can do is start from a place like, how can we improve it if we've been through the pain ourselves? How can we educate on skin, educate on anesthetics? We have to come from a place of more education. That's why I said you guys need to pay attention, show up early, be here, be a super, super geek. Who wants to be a geek? Don't you love it? I love being a geek. So I'm sorry I couldn't answer your question fully, but like you just, instead of saying, well, I don't know what to do, demand for more, ask for more. Don't accept the status quo.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for one more question, last one.
Hi, thank you both so much for this event. It's life-changing to me. I just started. And I wanted to ask you, going back to the product, what I found using Numbing, it's making the skin thicker and it makes it harder to implant color. So does yours have something that takes care of this, not making it so thick? Or do you suggest using, if it does, what do you suggest using so it makes the skin not that rough or thick?
I'm so glad you asked me that. That is a big struggle from the artist's feedback as well, is that current numbing creams make the skin too dehydrated, constricts the blood vessels too much. So one of the product features that I wanted to include in ice cream is that it would not do that. Ice cream is made with 0.25% phenylephrine and it contains moisturizing humectants. So it keeps the skin soft without that over hardening of the skin. So I got you, girl.
Thank you.
All right,
so guys, if you want, you can take off the numbing cream, just use that little alcohol pad in there and just give it a wipe. Sorry about that. You can go back and put your lipstick on. But it will get through lipstick too.
Amazing. So, I don't know.
Oh yeah,
we're about to show this.
Here's production. Here's what it looks like. This is the bottle being filled up with product. This is at the factory, at the manufacturing plant. This batch was made in the UK. Our next batch will probably be made in the US. Mm-hmm. And I partnered with a manufacturer that is an FDA compliant manufacturer.
Amazing.
And they make already tattoo products, so always with experience.
Tell us about this.
Oh guys, this is probably the only picture you'll see on my Instagram in 6 months. But I'm so proud of this because I got a FDA certified drug on the market. Like, it's actually hard.
Congratulations.
Yeah, a drug. Like, I made a drug. I made an ice cream. and cosmetic regulation is completely different from drug regulation. So it's extremely stringent, and I wanted to do it properly. I didn't want to make a product that could be taken away, could be banned, could be dangerous. You guys have liability, you guys have insurance, you have clients that are depending on you. And this year, we've seen the FDA crack down on a lot of numbing type of products that just poof, just disappeared because they didn't follow FDA guidelines for safety. So I got that top of mind for you guys. Safety first.
Claps for that.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Tina. So before we close out here for this segment, do you have any last pieces of advice for everyone that's tuning in? And virtually, we didn't forget about you. We know there's a few hundred of you tuning in from around the world. Thanks for hanging in with us. But any last piece of advice?
I would say that I see you guys. I see you. I know this is hard, but everything is hard. So just keep doing what you're doing. I talked to so many of you guys at the booth. You guys were telling me about your struggles. It's not going to be a straight line It's gonna be up and downs, and it's freaking normal. What you see on Instagram is fake, okay? Just do what you can and be a geek. Show up early, stay late. It's your life, it's your career. And I know women traditionally are scared to do things. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to be the loud one. They don't want to demand things. But I guess because I came from an immigrant family, I saw them struggle and they would just always push. Because there's no way they can do anything if they don't push, if they don't ask. So you know me, I'm kind of pushy, right? Put this on your lips. So just go for it, guys. Like we all just want to help each other. So you're helping your clients, it's all good. It comes back to you. Don't be afraid. That's all I can say is don't be afraid. You're beautiful just the way you are.
All right. And last but not least, like I just want to point this out, like the fact that you are so involved with your family, you get them so involved with your business. Do you have any advice for those who are kind of struggling with that? It's like, oh, who do I prioritize? Like everything is so integrated. I think that's such an important topic that I'd love to close out with.
Yeah, last year, I decided to bring my kids here because I wanted to show them and I wanted to involve them so they're not just learning in books. I wanted them to be involved in packing things, talking to customers, communication, and like that really opened doors for them. I know so many of you are moms. How many here are moms? How many of you miss your kids like crazy? Right? Like you can, when you know they're a little older, bring them with you. I've just decided just to bring them with me, and like they get to be with me and learn things, and it's okay. They mess up. I don't know, they're running around, but it doesn't matter. I know I'm with my people. I know you guys will accept me the way I am. So thank you guys for letting me bring my family.
Can we?
Bring your family.
Brooke, it's so bright. Is Brooke in the crowd somewhere? Brooke, come on. Give it up for Brooke. Okay, so I want to give.
Your mic or my mic?
Oh, your mic. But I want to give Brooke a quick shout out. Oh, okay, I've been saying, ooh, that's a leg wet. No. So no, I want to give Brooke a shout out. She is the only vendor of this entire event that completely sold out. Did anyone buy a bracelet from her? Raise your hand. Wow, you got some customers. So I just want to shout that out. Brooke, do you have any words you want to mention to the crowd before we leave?
No, not really.
Come back next time. Thanks for supporting her. You guys were so patient, and she had her own little tray with little bracelets. Thank you for supporting her and making her feel confident. Confidence is everything.
So I hope you found that conversation with Tina Davies as valuable as the attendees did at PMU World. And really, these are the conversations that help propel the industry forward when we can have honest conversations just like this one. And so if you enjoyed this insider perspective and want to see more content from industry leaders and PMU World, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button so that we can continue giving you the very best resources in the industry. And for those of you who are interested in attending PMU World this upcoming year, we're going to also attach the link to our ticket site in the description below. And so thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.